Honorable TJ Kajwang, who we cannot afford to be in this house without. So Dr. Njikalu must ensure he's okay. Honorable Speaker, allow me to move that taking into consideration the findings of the Committee on Appointments in its fourth report on the vetting of the nominees for appointment as Cabinet Secretaries laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 16 January 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Articles 152(2) of the Constitution and Sections 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the following persons as Cabinet Secretaries. 1. The Honorable Mutahi KAGWE EGH as a Minister or the Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development. 2. The Honorable William KABOGO as the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Information Communications and Digital Economy Ministry. And 3. The Honorable KINYANJUI as the Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry. Honorable Speaker, allow me to take this opportunity first to thank you as the Chair of the Appointments Committee and all the 20 members of the Parliamentary Appointments Committee who took their time, Honorable Speaker, during the recess to come and vet these 3 cabinet nominees, even as I thank all the members of this House who have heeded to the call for a special sitting today to approve the motions that we've just approved, that of SRC, the Public Service Commission, the ambassadors who are being designated to serve our country in different destinations around the world. And lastly, this motion, Honorable Speaker, to approve these 3 cabinet secretaries to serve in those 3 ministries, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, having and Kenyans watched as we vetted these 3 cabinet nominees. And these nominees, Honorable Speaker, are not new in the public service. The Honorable Mutahi KAGWE has been a minister right from the Kibaki time when he served as minister for 2 years as minister for ICT, or what was then the Ministry of Communications and Information and Communication, Honorable Speaker. He then served as Minister for Health at a very challenging time during the COVID outbreak, Honorable Speaker. And many Kenyans will remember the Honorable Mutahi KAGWE as a COVID-era minister. And he cut his niche, especially with his very good communication skills, always updating the country on the status of the pandemic in the country, Honorable Speaker. And I remember my own daughter, who was then only 2 years old, whenever he saw either CS Mutahi KAGWE or the then CAS, Dr. Mwangangi, Masi Mwangangi, she would tell me COVID. And in my house, Mutahi KAGWE was christened the COVID minister. But he did a splendid job during that time, Honorable Speaker, and I'm glad that some of the issues that bedeviled his term, part of it being the COVID billionaire scandal, he was able to be confronted with those questions during the vetting process and adequately or sufficiently answered all the issues that pertained to that time, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm saying this because all the other nominees, the Honorable William KABOGO Getao is the first governor of Kiambu County, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable KINYANJUI is the second governor of Nakuru County. Honorable Speaker, as much as these 2 gentlemen never made it back to serve their second terms, during their terms as governors, there are things you could see both in Kiambu County, where I come from, and I say this, Honorable Speaker, knowing that I had run-ins with the Honorable KABOGO when he was governor for Kiambu. And it was nothing ever personal, it was all in the course of business in politics, Honorable Speaker. But I can say today, so far, of all the governors who have served the county of Kiambu in terms of performance, William Getao KABOGO ranks number 1 in terms of performance. Second is Governor Nyoro. Of course, the current governor and Governor Waitito, I can't even begin to rank them, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable KINYANJUI, Honorable Speaker, midwifed. I don't know who that is. The Honorable KINYANJUI, KINYANJUI.
Yes, Jonette. What's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker.
Give him the mic.
Mr. Speaker, is it in order for the majority leader to become a pollster and say that, to mislead the House that Governor Kabogo was the best, when he knows that there is a sitting governor here in the county now who's serving the county called Governor Wamatangi? And when I asked him about him, he told me, I don't know that one. Mr. Speaker, when did that change? And has Mr. Wamatangi left being the governor of Kiambu, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, let's be fair. Mr. Kabogo might have done a good job, but Mr. Wamatangi, can you tell us something about Mr. Wamatangi?
Honorable Speaker, I hear my leader of minority, and Honorable Speaker, you know, I am speaking about the nominees in this list, and there are two governors, Governor Kabogo and Governor Lee Mayani Kinyanjui. And therefore, I also said, having knowledge and being a constituent in Kiambu County, I am capable of ranking, not as a pollster, the performance in terms of output and actual performance on delivery of services to the people of Kiambu County. And Governor Gitao Kabogo William ranks #1 so far. Governor Wamatangi has time. He's the current governor. He is now competing with Governor Itito in terms of who will perform better. But so far, Governor Kabogo and Governor Nyoro have done exceptionally well. Honorable Speaker, and you can ask anybody from Kiambu County, they will vindicate me. I'll stand vindicated by the people of Kiambu. The people of Nakuru County also vindicate me when I say, Honorable Speaker, and Kenyans know that Governor Lee Kinyanjui midwifed the ascension of Nakuru County from a municipality into the city that Nakuru County is today. And these are not people, as I said, Honorable Speaker, who are new to public service. They are seasoned politicians, seasoned public officers, and I want to pray and hope that when they take over their offices, whether it is Mutahi Kagwe in the Ministry of Agriculture, whether it is Lee Kinyanjui in the Ministry of Trade and Industry, whether it is Gitao Kabogo in the Ministry of ICT, Honorable Speaker, that they will serve all the people of this country with the dedication and commitment that we have seen them serve in the various other capacities that they have served the nation in, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there are challenges, both in ICT, Honorable Speaker, with the rollout of the fiber optic cable, and ensuring what the Honorable Pukose said during the vetting process, to ensure that the far-flung corners and districts of our country are also connected to the internet, Honorable Speaker. And Governor Kabogo, now CS nominee Kabogo, if approved by this House, has that challenge to ensure that every corner of this country, Honorable Speaker, has internet accessibility, not just to ensure that people are getting government services through e-citizen, Honorable Speaker, but also to ensure that Kenyans who are telling that you can finya computer upate $1 can able to work online from any corner of this country. You do not need to be in an urban area to be able to access internet services, Honorable Speaker, but even those in Elwak, those in Karachuonyo, those in far-flung corners of Turkana County, Honorable Speaker, can also be able to access internet services. And I am happy during the vetting process, Governor Kabogo was able to articulate that in those far-flung areas where they cannot be able to get accessibility through the fiber optic cable, he will explore new technology like the Starlink technology that is there to ensure that people are able to access internet connectivity and jobs, Honorable Speaker, and also create some sanity within the digital space, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Mutahi Kagwe has his work cut out, Honorable Speaker, and I'm happy that during the vetting process he was able to very well articulate the challenges that bedevil our agricultural sector, the connectivity between productivity in the agricultural sector, access to markets, and making agriculture profitable to farmers. And Honorable Speaker, I am glad that he was able to articulate how he will work and be able to make agriculture profitable, ensure that our country is food secure, and ensure that our farmers access markets, not just for their tea, coffee, milk, pyrethrum, even potato farmers or sugarcane farmers, Honorable Speaker, that are able to access markets and access good prices for their produce, Honorable Speaker. I pray, as I challenge the Honorable Mutahi Kagwe during the vetting, that he will not be swallowed by the cartels that have swallowed even other bigger people. not just in that ministry, but even in bigger offices, Honorable Speaker. You know there are people who are given the responsibility in this country to midwife the access to markets for our coffee farmers and our tea farmers. But they went and became cartels themselves, Honorable Speaker. We have had tales, Honorable Speaker, in this country, where somebody was demanding 3 shillings per kilogram of coffee being exported or being sold out of this country. I want to pray that the Honorable Mutahi Kagwe will serve with the diligence that he served in the ministries that he served before in this agriculture ministry, and with the integrity that we have seen him serve with before. The Honorable KINYANJUI, my good friend from Nakuru County, as I said, did well in Nakuru County, but now he has his work cut out for him. Trade and industry, Honorable Speaker, and the State Department for Investments now fall on his shoulders. And he has rather broad shoulders, and I want to believe that those shoulders of KINYANJUI will be able to carry this ministry to the next level where it ought to be. Honorable Speaker, it is shameful that 20 years ago, or even less than 20 years ago, our country was leading in terms of our percentage of manufacturing as a percentage of our GDP. Kenya in the region, not just in East Africa, but in East, Central, and almost Southern Africa, with the exception of Botswana and South Africa, Kenya had the highest percentage in terms of manufacturing contribution to our GDP. But today, Honorable Speaker, neighboring countries like Uganda, that were largely importing manufactured goods from Kenya, are ahead of us. If you look at the 2023 statistics, Honorable Speaker, Uganda's manufacturing industry has grown to contribute at least 15.65% to their GDP, whereas Kenya's is at a level of about 7.3%, almost actually half or less than half that of Uganda. When and how Uganda overtook us in manufacturing, Honorable Speaker, is a challenge that KINYANJUI has to reverse that. There is no sector that can create more jobs than the manufacturing sector, Honorable Speaker. And I want to believe with the increased productivity in agriculture, with the good technology and technical skills amongst the youth in this country, Honorable Speaker, if we are able to leverage on that, Honorable Speaker, it is possible then to grow industries and manufacturing that will grow, increase our GDP, Honorable Speaker, and also increase our manufacturing sector's contribution to our GDP almost threefold to at least 20%, Honorable Speaker. We have stagnated about 7% for the last almost 10, 12 years. And time is nigh, Honorable Speaker, and I want to believe that the Honorable KINYANJUI has what it takes. And I have confidence that these 3 cabinet secretaries, Honorable Speaker, have what it takes to move us to where we want to be as a nation, and in terms of implementing the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Honorable Speaker, I know there are issues, and I want to note that there are memoranda that were filed before the Appointments Committee, which we all considered. The nominees were given this memoranda and they responded to them. And one of the salient issues in this memoranda was the question of 2/3 gender rule, Honorable Speaker. And as members know, and it's good to inform the country, that we look at the cabinet composition in its totality, not these 3 nominees. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, in terms of adherence to that 2/3 gender rule, we are doing well, and I want to believe, because there are still slots that are available in the cabinet, to ask the President, His Excellency President William Ruto, that is in his next appointments, to ensure that there are at least both genders, not just one gender, to ensure that we truly conform to the 2/3 gender rule. But as we are, Honorable Speaker, even without the full composition of cabinet, we have done well with at least 6 cabinet secretaries, including the Attorney General, as ladies, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in terms of regional balance, it is true, Honorable Speaker, and there are issues that were raised that these 3 nominees again hail from one region. And it's true, Honorable Speaker, they all hail from one region. But again, we look at the totality of the composition of cabinet in totality, and you will see that it goes very well with our population numbers the representation of our communities and various regions in cabinet is well represented, Honorable Speaker. And that also, Speaker, should shut those who, Honorable Speaker, have been intent on inciting the people of this region where these members come from. I know, Honorable Speaker, there are those who have said that Mount Kenya region was being represented in cabinet by people who are not known. But there are people and Kenyans who also deserve to serve in cabinet, Honorable Speaker. And some of those people, like Dr. Andrew Karanja, you remember when he was appointed, with a very good CV, and I'm glad the president has given him an opportunity to go and serve the country in Brazil, and all the other cabinet secretaries who had been appointed earlier, Honorable Speaker, and who are capable and can serve in other capacities. These three gentlemen, the Honorable Mutahi Kagwe, the Honorable William Kabogo, and the Honorable KINYANJUI, are not coming in to serve the people of Mount Kenya. Agriculture is not in Mount Kenya. ICT is not in Mount Kenya alone. Neither is trade and industry or investments. These are dockets where they are coming to serve all the people of Kenya as cabinet secretaries. And I want to encourage them to serve the people of Kenya without any regard to the regions they come from, to serve people fairly and equally. Consider the people of Marsabit in agriculture, whether it is in their pastoralist activities, in the livestock department, the state department is under that ministry. Consider them as well as you consider the people of Odaya with their coffee, or the people of Kiambu in Limuru with their tea, or indeed the people of Kikuyu with our potatoes and small-scale farming, Honorable Speaker, because we live on 50 by hundreds. And of course, the people who are producing livestock, we are key stakeholders because we are also butchers in Dagoretti. And Honorable Speaker, I'm saying that so that all these cabinet secretaries come to serve us as Kenyans. And nobody should ever look at them on the basis of the regions where they come from. I know there are others who may have wanted and tempted even cabinet secretaries. And it is sad, Honorable Speaker, that today we even have cabinet secretaries who get tempted to play to the public gallery, excite emotions on the basis of ethnicity and regions they come from, inciting communities against communities. And Honorable Speaker, it is sad. And I want to pray that these three gentlemen, because during the vetting process, they are able to show that they look at Kenya as one unitary state. They will serve the people of Kenya without regard to where anybody comes from or whatever language any Kenyan speaks, and serve them as Kenyans. I wish them all the best, Honorable Speaker, and I want to implore on all of us to approve these three cabinet secretaries so that cabinet may be not fully constituted, but at least those who are acting can now hand over, and hopefully the next cabinet meeting, they will have been sworn in and take over the service of serving Kenyans. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move, and I want to request the Leader of Minority, the Honorable Junet Mohammed, who also sits in the Appointments Committee, to second the motion in agreement. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Junet.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to second this motion